gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Turn up the bass.
A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE.
Oh yeah!
Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. Enter co-host, hailing from the Valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia.
Turn up the bass.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I'm your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi. And joining me is my good friend, Ian Garavaglia, the full-time part-timer. What's up, dog?
What's up, dog? As we had discussed before, we had a long day at work, and I am just ready to talk wrestling. I just watched AEW's 2 shows, if you want to call it.
Long night.
Yeah, that was a lot of wrestling, so let's keep it rolling, I guess. And
Did
I'm
you watch
excited.
all of it? But we got some time to kill, by the way. The X stream is not working, so not a lot of people are in here right now, Ian. So you can just tell me a little bit about it.
About the wrestling? About AEW?
Yeah.
It was long. It was very long. And I kind of did like how they mixed it so that a lot of the wrestling was on Collision. And it was kind of a lot of selling on Dynamite. But I think you got your money's worth regardless. I kind of feel bad for the people that were in attendance because
That's a tough
that
ask.
goes late. That goes late. But usually, like, Collision crowds are kind of okay on a normal day because it's already pre-recorded. And they're kind of quiet, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a PLE or anything like that. I mean, obviously, they advertised it as, a special. It was Fyter Fest, which,
That's
I mean,
always a
it
big
lived
show
up
for
to it. It felt like a special,
Yeah. And it's always a big, like Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, Beach Break.
Yeah, Beach Break's always
Top
a good one.
3 that pops up in my head. They throw out a lot of those names. Like, already they have another one next week. But I think it's for some reason, like, programming-wise, or could be because, like, a bunch of movies are coming out for the summer.
Well, and like the finals too for not just
yeah.
the NBA, but hockey as well. But
Right.
for some reason, like I said, X is not working, so there's not a lot of people watching us. So we're basically going to treat this as an old-fashioned audio podcast, Ian. It's like we're going back in time. There is nobody watching us right now, so we just get to lay out and talk wrestling. So this is kind of weird for me, not having the chat to rely on and lead the conversation.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, yeah, like you said, the good old days of OTM podcasting when we had no friends and it was just us in your kitchen talking.
See
I
how
shouldn't
much,
say us, but
yeah, me and Tuck. But see how much you guys mean to us, and you guys should be able to find us though. We're live at 7:00 on YouTube.
If you love us, yeah,
we still got that going on. But if you do love us even more than just tuning in, you could support us by checking out the merch that we have at the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. And Ian, I can confidently tell you right now, and tell the audience that is listening back at a later time, that that's not going to be up much longer. So if you want that merch, now's the time to go get it, right?
yeah. If you want the OG stuff, because I know we have a big announce. Well, have we announced it yet?
What are you referring to? Oh,
the move.
I guess
I know we've
haven't.
hinted at it.
We haven't officially announced it, but yes, we are going to be moving our merch over to Brainbuster Tees going forward, which is a recommendation from Jay Gold and Charlie Butters over at IW Guide. So I haven't got that set up yet, Ian, but you know how it is. We got real life stuff, so I'll get to it when I get to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, too, it's like the old website that we were using. Yes, it's really nice having that Pot on the Mark. The entire domain name is our podcast name. So
Yeah, we paid for that.
yeah, but also at the same time, Springify is not to throw any company name under the bus, but they took a long time to get your shirts. Yeah, whatever. It takes a long time to get the shirts out. However, it happened. They let it happen. So
Well, I was gonna say I did reach out because it's for some reason it's only Jay Gold's issue with his merch, but he purchased that in I believe March. We're in June, and it says it's still in production. So I literally sent them an email and I DM'd a bot on their website, and I haven't had a response in a week. So time to get the fuck out of there,
yeah, not great. We had our stay, and we're gone.
Hey, look who found us, though. The Great Brown Hope. We out you. We thought we were going to be here by ourselves, but at least somebody found YouTube. If you didn't see or didn't hear Great Brown Hope, X isn't working, so we're doing it the old school way. And Steve's got a comment. He left us a little earlier. I'm sure he wasn't able to tune in live, but if you haven't checked out Steve's channel, what are you doing? One of the best out there. He's got a question for us, Ian. He says, another massive weekend of wrestling ahead. Which show of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank are you guys most looking forward to?
If it wasn't for AEW throwing Mexican luchadors in our face every single week, I would say Worlds Collide, because I think on a pure wrestling aspect, Worlds Collide's probably going to be better.
Yes.
But Money in the Bank, obviously, it has more stipulations. I think it's not predictable this year, which is nice. There's a lot of, we're going to talk about the matches, but a lot of people are saying, oh, it's already going to be shit because the people that we don't want to win are going to win. It's writing on the wall. Okay, you're setting yourself up for failure then.
Don't tell me that the internet is already going into something thinking negatively, and that not my IWC. Not mine.
No, I'm never going to claim IWC. Fuck that.
Our IWC, I guess you say,
Okay.
our OTM community. And speaking of our OTM community, Great Brown Hope, Tino, if you guys could do us a favor and tweet out that X isn't working so people could come hang out with us over on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate that, and maybe you'll become the MVM. Who knows? But like Great Brown Hope said, he'll never leave us, and he won't, because we are down with the Brown. And he's a part of the Main Event Wrestling Network. Oh, that's a thing. It's in his blog. He said OTM's down with the Brown.
There's some innuendo there. I don't know if I like that.
Talking about shit?
I don't know.
But hey, there. If that's your cup of tea, calling people names like that, come hang out with us here at the Main Event Wrestling Network at @mainevent_net. The Great Brown Hope did just release a new 5 at 5, so you could check that out if you're following us on these socials. And Ian, if stuff like this goes haywire, this is where you're going to follow us at Pot on the Mark on all the other social media accounts. TikTok, we're pretty much, I think that's our biggest account that we have. It has 1,400 followers. So if we can get to 2,000, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that if you want to go see, if you don't want to watch the entire podcast, a lot of people these days have very short-term spans. So if you want to go to our TikTok, where we upload YouTube Shorts as well. I'm personally a YouTube Shorts guy. Just how I am. I don't like doom scrolling too much, but...
Is that your just generation? What are you, Gen Z, Gen X? What are you?
I don't know. I think I'm Gen Z. I honestly have no idea.
That would make sense. How do you not know?
I don't care.
I'm a millennial.
You know me. My knowledge...
No, mentally, you are not Gen Z or Gen X, whatever it is. See, look at that. That's why we got Tino and the Great Brown Hope. They said they got us. So appreciate y'all. But but one last thing, guys. We are at, I think, 451 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. So if you are watching this on YouTube, we're trying to get to 500. And what's the question the junkies always ask? What's that magic number, Ian?
1, but I say 2, because if you could tell one person, you could also tell 2 people, because not everybody's going to be by themselves when you talk wrestling to them.
Like the gym. You do it at the gym, don't you?
Yeah. I did when I went to the gym. But, literally, I wear wrestling shirts when I take my dogs for a walk, because there are sometimes people will be like, oh, a nice shirt. By the way, shout out to Mr. Kyle Gagliardi for the free large shirts. Got a nice wrestling restock. Only Adam Cole and Seth Rollins, but we'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers.
I was going to say, if I keep going on this trajectory that I'm going in, there might be more wrestling shirts coming your way.
If they're mediums, you're in for trouble.
I only got a few mediums on hand. Like, I'm still wearing some larges because, some of the shirts shrink. It's weird. The WWE shirts are like hit or miss for me. Some shrink, some don't. Like, that Seth Rollins one was absolutely huge on me.
Oh, no, this fits perfectly. This is the perfect size for me.
And you're also a little taller than me, too. So it makes sense that it would fit you better. So enough chit-chat. We do have some news, though, before we get into Worlds Collide. And ladies and gentlemen, I know there's been a lot of speculation going about the OTM universe, but I can confidently say to all of you today that Tucky is coming to OTM. That's it. that's the video package, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is why they have the show.
Music, but
you know what? The music choice wasn't the greatest, so we decided to refrain, and we probably would get copyrighted, right?
Yes, absolutely. Tucky will be here eventually. Big announcement. We've been saying it for 2 months, but he is coming.
And speaking of coming, I'm going to come because we are now live on X. I can't believe I just said that on this podcast, but hey, if it plays, it plays, right, Ian? Which is a good time to bring up the fact that we got not one, but 2 PLEs happening this weekend, both of them happening in LA and both of them happening on Saturday. So let's jump right into Worlds Collide. And before we do that, let's just put this out there. Ian and I, not too familiar with guys from AAA, but I would say we know El Hijo del Vikingo very well.
Yeah, if you have not seen a match of his, to be completely full and transparent, we have seen him and we've worked, as in kept the time for one of his matches.
We've worked with him.
But also, we didn't need to keep time because it was literally, our instruction was just let them do their thing.
Lay out, let them go.
And holy shit. If you have not seen these guys, or seen Vikingo live, you're in for a treat because this dude is genuinely, he's like the youngest generation of like, what's next in luchador and just wrestling in general. He's very young, very, very young, and already incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do at Worlds Collide against Chad Gable. But we're not going to talk about that match just yet. Let's start off here with 6-man tag action with the LWO. That's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde teaming up with Dragon Lee to take on Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. Now, Mr. Iguana in the NXT crowd, by the way, this week, Vogus sent us a screenshot. I don't know about you, but I laughed out loud when he sent the screenshot of it.
It's, we don't know much about the guy, but he stands out in a crowd. Let's say that. We have no idea about Octagon Jr. I've heard of, and Aerostar,
yeah.
I think I've heard the name of.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Iguana, not on my radar. So I'm hoping, I got low expectations, but that's not a bad thing because his expectations could, he could over-deliver in my eyes. So I'm excited for this match.
The bar is not going to be high for people like us that aren't too familiar with these AAA stars, is basically what you're saying.
Correct. The way I see it, just going into this weekend, Worlds Collide is my warm-up into Money in the Bank. That's probably your feelings as well, I would imagine.
100%.
Just good wrestling. This is like the independent show that you go to, like on a weekend of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This is the independent show. This is our GCW show. Sorry, GCW. Don't mean that in a bad way.
No, it's a good thing. Yeah.
And warming up into the weekend. So, yeah.
And honestly, I don't think it's crazy for me to say this. I think you even alluded to it a little bit earlier, saying how strong this card was. This show might be better than Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Like, it might be more entertaining. Is there any things of, consequence going to come out of this show? Probably not. I don't see Chad Gable beating Vikingo, especially after Vikingo just beat El Patron, who is never going to work with WWE, thankfully. I know you weren't around for the Del Rio days, Ian, but that was like the first heel I hated. And come to find out, he's actually a piece of shit in real life.
Yeah. I don't have many additional comments on that one.
You could agree, though.
Yes, I could agree.
So our lucha expert, the Great Brown Hope, said Mr. Iguana has a lizard puppet like Santino has a snake and Foley had the Sacco. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Now I'm in.
I'm glad it's a comedy thing because I was hoping it wasn't like a serious wrestler over there because I was like, I don't know how to take this one.
Right, and to be fair, Great Brown Hope, he basically was the chosen one. I mean, Del Rio won the Royal Rumble, I believe, in 2011, and he ruined himself by being a piece of shit, like I said. But the match itself, once again, we don't know much about these three. We do know the LWO, obviously, and you've spoke your frustrations with how the LWO has been presented over time, but do you see them picking up the victory here in this matchup?
They have to, right? I mean, it seems like, the two, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the names of the guys. Sorry, Great Brown Hope. But
Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde.
yeah, they just picked up a big victory this past week on Raw, so that was kind of shocking. Or was that on SmackDown? That just shows you my
SmackDown,
commitment
I
to
believe,
LWO.
but
So it seems like they're getting a little bit of a, hey, they're still here. They could still win matches, so maybe this is their way of trying to really help push them.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
one
the
of
way I see
these six-man tags, AAA is going to have to win. Because when you look at this card as a whole, you know Stephanie Vaquer is not going to lose her match. There's no way. Like we said, Vikingo's probably going to beat Chad Gable. I'm taking the LWO to pick up the win here as well, just because of going off of what the Great Brown Hope said. He said Iguana is more of a comedy act. I don't think they're going to have the comedy act go over the LWO, who is trying to gain, some momentum that you talked about, from last week. So, yeah, I think it's going to be the LWO here. And this could be the match of the weekend. We don't really know. And that's what's great about this card. And that's why I'm excited for it. And speaking of Worlds Collide, happening this Saturday, Main Event Mixer, episode 25. This will be hosted by one half of NXT Night Shift, Jay Gold, who celebrated his birthday earlier this week. We even had Stan from Burlington on the show. Ian, I don't know if you caught his roast this week, but once again, Stan from Burlington, he's a treat.
I was not able to catch it this week.
I'll have to show
but
you.
Yeah, please do, because if you don't want to hear Kyle talk, at least come for Stan, at least, or Jay Gold. If you don't want to hear him talk, just come for Stan.
Yeah.
You won't be
Well,
disappointed.
You want to hear something even better? Charlie Butters just released a 2-hour compilation of Stan from Burlington calling into their show. So go to YouTube when you have the time to do so. I'm telling you guys, this is worth it. If you're a fan of NXT Night Shift, you're a fan of the Main Event Wrestling Network, and you just like a good laugh, come hang out with us. That's what we're all about over here. But Great Brown Hope said Wilde and Mendoza are the only guys from LWO that get love from the Great Brown Hope. Rey Mysterio only cares about Rey Mysterio.
Fair enough.
He sticks to it, doesn't he? Like at least he's on brand all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't switch up the views, which I respect. You have to respect it. Give it a little bit.
He's loyal, very loyal to Shayna Baszler.
He's loyal to being disloyal, I guess.
He's loyal to the hate.
Yes, that's a better way of putting it.
That is the better way of putting it, for sure. I'm going to wear my LWO shirt to the mixer for Mendoza and Wild. There you go. I think that means we know who he's going to be picking.
I was about to say, I think if you just wear your LWO shirt, WWE will actually add you to the LWO, like officially. Because they just add anybody, so I don't know.
Don't put that out there, because there is a world where the Lucha Brothers get together, and then the LWO is trying to recruit the Lucha Brothers, and I don't want any part of that.
It's gonna happen because
we don't have to have a Lucha house party. See what I did there?
Lucha. The amount of Lucha chants that were on Dynamite last night were hilarious.
You would have thought the Lucha house party was there. Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, once again, AEW, 4 hours long. Another complaint, or not another complaint, but one complaint. Sorry, I don't want to pile on to AEW. One complaint. 2 women's matches in 4 hours.
Yeah. Just to touch on it, I'm excited for Tekla. I know we're not supposed to talk AEW. Tekla, pretty fucking badass. I love the look. I know nothing about her, which I love. I want that to be the case. So it's a nice even judging score on how they book her. So far, I guess, like Lady Frost, nah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm excited to see what they do with Tekla, though.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the last half hour. I think I fell asleep, so I didn't get to see her performance. But maybe I'll check it out. But nonetheless, we're going with the LWO here for that first match at Worlds Collide. This one, I think this is the match I am most looking forward to this weekend. Ethan Page, who is the North American champion in NXT, facing off against one half of the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Javon Evans. And, of course, from AAA, Laredo Kid, or as Sean Legacy said on NXT this week, Laredo. And he botched the hell out of that one. But I'll go first here on this one, Ian, because I think this one's pretty easy. Because if you weren't aware, Ethan Page just recently defeated Ricky Saints for that North American title a couple weeks ago on NXT. So I really don't see Ethan Page dropping the title so soon unless he's headed to the main roster, which I would not be surprised if they could just put the title on Javon Evans here and then send Ethan to the main. But then again, they've just recently called up a lot of people to the main roster.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new people here. Ray Phoenix is still relatively new. Penta, I would say, like, we kind of get him now. Like, Penta's solidified in WWE. But Ray, every time his music hits, the crowd still's not there. So I still think he needs a little bit more seasoning. Nonetheless, Ethan Page, is the obvious choice here for me. But if I were to pick a wild card, I think Javon Evans would be that pick. But regardless, Ian, this should be an incredible matchup. You have 4 or 3 high flyers and a great heel in Ethan Page.
Yeah, as the luchadors would say, Ethan Page will be the base in this match. But we have seen Laredo Kid as well perform in a Warrior Wrestling ring. Again, another guy that's like, holy shit, acrobatics. This is my thing. I'm very interested to see just from it's WWE wrestlers like luchadors, that lucha style. Sometimes it gets a little dangerous. Just how if you're not, accepted of the style and you're not as athletic as those luchadors. I'm interested to see how much it's tuned back, the luchador style, because it's going to be tuned back. It has to be. They're not going to. They're not going to be running the ropes like a commander style. They're not going to be running the ropes like that. It's not going to happen.
They might bring it out. Maybe that's the whole point of buying AAA is to introduce a new style to the WWE audience. And I get what you're saying. I do.
Yeah, it's just the whole risk of, do I risk, like especially Ethan Page right now, you brand new champion, are you going to risk somebody jumping onto him that is not necessarily used to, working the WWE style? Like, I don't know. That's just one thing that I'm really intrigued by, and that's
thankfully there's only one non-WWE wrestler in this match, so you have 3 guys that will be able to pick up on TV wrestling. Because you're right, TV wrestling is different than just AAA, where they're allowed to just do whatever the hell they want. And even the Great Brown Hope agrees with you. He said they're not going to want AAA to outshine their own product too. That's also a good point. This should be a showcase, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily about that. I think it's just purely based, like just from if they're going to tune it back a little bit, it's just purely injury based.
Right.
They're gonna want to shine and make it different. Like, this is the AAA style. Like, they're not.
This is why we bought this company.
Yes, correct. This is what you will see if you go and watch AAA.
Right.
I agree with you. Yes, but I think that's more on who wins the match. I think it's pretty old school kind of booking. Yeah, it's got to be Ethan Page, and like you said, Javon Evans. If he wins, not upset, because at least you have NXT to fall back on.
Yeah.
Hell, if Ray Phoenix wins it, goes down to NXT, lets him establish himself.
Yeah.
Not upset with that.
I would not mind Ray in NXT for a little bit. I mean, Dragon Lee did that. Dragon Lee, I think, was for a stint on the main roster and then came back down, and he became North American champion, and then he got called back up, and now what's Dragon Lee doing? He is on this card, though. So I guess he's in the same spot, basically. Great write-ups. The communication between the talent is the key here. The language is the reason LWO and Legado will have the best matches on the card, and he's probably 100%.
You're probably right, yeah. Yeah, well, again, this Fatal 4-Way, I think Ray Phoenix is going to fucking shine. This could be one of those moments that Ray Phoenix could go off.
And Laredo Kid, too. I mean, and we know what Javon's capable of. This is going to be a good one. Yeah, this is going to be arguably the best match.
I think it'll be the best match of the card.
In-ring quality, we could say. But then again, who knows? Because every time Stephanie Valquer gets into a ring, she puts on one of the best matches every single night. She's teaming up with Lola Vice to take on Chick Tormenta and Delise. Obviously, I know nothing about these 2 other women, guys, so I really can't even give you a backstory here, but I can tell you this. Stephanie Valquer is her. She's pulling double duty this weekend. She's going to be in a tag match here. I'm assuming Lola's going to do majority of the work. That way, Stephanie's, a little bit more fresh for Money in the Bank, but you got to make her look strong, especially when she's involved in that PLE later that night. So Ian, it's a no-brainer for me. I think Stephanie and Lola Vice are going to pick up the win here.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer as well. I think this was more just the fact they wanted to get Lola Vice on the card. I want to say,
Yeah.
It seems like especially Shawn Michaels. I mean, I know why he's got high praises on Lola Vice, but
And I know
Shawn
why
Michaels.
Booker T does, because he wants some of that Cholula green.
I think Lola Vice, like coming from an MMA background, like
Legit.
she's legit. She has that background that's like she's not just a pretty face. And she's shown every now and then on NXT, especially early on in her career, like she's got it. She has that moveset. She has the style.
She's got the look.
She's got the look. I'm just so confused on why Valkyrie and Lola Vice are teaming.
No,
Is
that's
there any
fair.
explanation?
It happened in a backstage segment, and it's even more confusing now after Stephanie lost to JC a week after they set up this match. So once again, they were just shotgunning Stephanie to the main roster. So this was just kind of thrown together backstage. So it's showcasing Stephanie Valkyrie, and what the Great Brown Hope is saying is that he's comparing these two women to like a Lance Storm or a Christian Cage on the other side. So veterans over there in AAA then. So this one should probably be pretty good.
Yeah, no, it should be good.
We're both going with Stephanie and Lola though, right?
Correct.
All right, let's move on to more six-man tag action. Legado del Fantasma, who there's been a little bit of friction lately with this faction, I think. But they're going to be taking on AAA's Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown, who we actually are pretty familiar with. So I think this is another match. Once again, Ian could steal the show. Like the Great Brown Hope said, of course, you're going to get Legado on the card. That way they're able to communicate with these AAA talent. And I think we're going to get a great Lucha showcase here. But one AAA team's got to win, right? So I'm going to go with Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown to pick up the victory. Just because there has been tension with Legado on SmackDown. So at least they could use that as the story on why they were to lose here.
Yeah, I got nothing much to add.
Copy and paste.
Correct. Yeah, it's a copy and paste as well. And another thing too is like it doesn't upset WWE fans, like diehard fans, because like all three of these names, Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown, we've heard the names at least once. You have heard each of those names, so they're definitely a big deal. Obviously, we know that to AAA, so I'm not upset with it. As long as you're able to build some story with it and it's not just a one-off and allow them to kind of build back on it. Yeah, so, which also, as Great Brown Hope was saying, I think this is a good sign for Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're going to have to follow back up on it, I would imagine, or it seems like they have plans on doing so. So, I'm excited.
That's what this AAA deal is going to create. It's going to create opportunities for people in WWE as well to work with other talent. If you're not being featured heavily on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, maybe you could go hang out with AAA for a little bit and have great feuds and great matches like we're probably going to see here at Worlds Collide. And the Great Brown Hope says 3 of the best second and third generation stars AAA has to offer against 3 of the best second and third generation stars graduate from AAA. This will be the match of the night. You heard it here from the Lucha expert himself. And he also said that Io de Dr. Wagner Jr. and Io del Vikingo will surely sign with WWE exclusively soon. I think we would agree with that, right, Ian?
Definitely Vikingo, yes. Definitely Vikingo. Wagner, I don't know.
We got to see some more, maybe.
Yeah, you need to see some more from him. Also, it's like, from just a general aspect and general, just we haven't really seen him at all.
Just from being a general wrestling fan, just like I'm not even casual. Like we're pretty tapped into professional wrestling, but there is even different levels of marks.
We're tapped into American professional wrestling.
Correct, TV American professional wrestling, and we do attend indies and we do work with indies people. So don't hop on us. All right, we got Legel. What do we got in this match? By the way, I forgot.
Phantasma. Oh, sorry. The 3.
Wagner, Pagano, and Psycho Clown. Okay. Correct. So then that takes us to the main event. We've kind of already talked about it, but man, this is another incredible matchup. Chad Gable versus Del Vikingo. Man, I just don't know what to say other than I'm excited for it, Ian, but Vikingo, I think, is obviously going to retain here.
I don't know, obviously. I don't think there's an obviously here because I think there is that bridge with AAA that you can put on WWE television, and Vikingo could work with English-speaking wrestlers.
Yes, he's done it.
And if this means Chad Gable, I think there's that funny dynamic too of El Grande Americano. You could work that into this. Again, it's kind of like that TNA crossover.
What if the Great Brown, or what if that Great Brown Hope? What if El Grande Americano won Money in the Bank and Chad Gable won the AAA championship?
I'm just saying, like, it's legit. Chad Gable.
There's no way.
I'm going with Chad Gable. I'm going to
So win the AAA championship?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big surprise. Let's have fun.
Wow.
Let's
You know
have
what I
fun.
gotta say to that?
Idiot.
You're a stupid idiot, Ian. That's not happening.
What?
Oh no, we showed him the soundboard, guys. Now Ian's gonna have some fun. You almost forgot about it, didn't you?
Yes.
You did. I'm used to multitasking. That's why it's not fair.
I'm telling you, I get
you.
it.
Thank you.
It
Bogus.
is.
I'm glad Bogus is watching. That's his first comment. It's just a good drop. Professional over here. Chad Gable wins it before Grande Americano. I don't know, man. Pull the trigger on Gable versus Grande Americano this soon. Yeah, because we all know Omos is under that mask, right?
It's true.
Why are you laughing?
Nothing. I'm not laughing at all.
So you really are being serious when you say
This
that
is a
Chad
fun
Gable.
pick. Relax. It's a fun pick. I think there is a 25% chance Chad Gable could win.
Okay, I like fun picks. I can't lie. But
Let's have
guys,
fun.
don't forget that Tucky is coming soon
Eventually.
to OTM. We're going to drop that at any point, at any time. You never know when it's coming, just like Tucky. You never know when he's going to be
coming.
here. Yeah.
He's coming.
Is James Ellsworth under the mask?
It's probably Jamie Noble, let's be honest.
Could be. Making tacos, listening to the boys talk graphs. See, look at that.
Ooh.
Love
Made
that.
burgers.
What kind of tacos are they? Are they steak tacos, beef? What we got going on over there? I need to know. Because
I'm
Go
a big
ahead.
fish taco guy. I just want to get that out there. I'm a big fish taco guy.
you would like Facos. They're fish
Didn't know
tacos,
that was a thing.
Facos. Yeah.
I would say Ficos.
I like Facos better. Anyways, the Great Brown Hope said someone has to the graphic where Veer turns around and it's Tuck. Yeah, we tried to reach out to
Limited budget.
people. Yeah. Budget constraints, budget cuts, all that stuff. You guys know how that goes. It's happening in the WWE, which, by the way, damn, R-Truth and Carlito are gone. I'm more sad about Truth, but yeah, it's just kind of sad, isn't it? 18 years with R-Truth, and he's no longer with the WWE. It's weird.
It is kind of crazy, though, because, like, comedy has always been a big thing in WWE. They, like, Carlito and R-Truth have been the comedy guys of the past, like, 2 years now, 3 years.
No doubt.
Somebody genuinely, like, this sounds like a annoying little take, but somebody's gonna have to step up as like a comedy figure in wrestling,
right.
or if they want to become something that they aren't anything right now.
Slide into that role.
Yeah, get into comedy a little bit, like Jimmy Uso a little bit. He's there, I guess, but
Grayson Waller, maybe.
I don't hate that.
It opens up a spot for Joe Hendry.
Say his name and he appears.
Yeah, I swear I did not
was
do
weird.
that one. But we have one more PLE to talk about happening later on in the evening, and that, of course, is Money in the Bank. And Ian, I have to be completely honest with you. I am not that excited for Money in the Bank, and that is crazy coming from me, someone who usually is always enthused for the WWE PLEs. Does that surprise you?
No, because I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, it's partially because I have a busy Saturday just in general, but also in the fact it's like there's been so much fucking wrestling, like to the point of like,
So much.
please
Too
give me
much.
a break. Yeah, the only thing that's got me locked in, if I would have to pay for this show, I would not be paying. I would not be watching.
Right.
The fact it's free, I will have it on my TV. That is for sure. I will be watching. I'm not super excited to watch. I'm not going to be making a bunch of food beforehand. Just, I don't know. It doesn't have the impact that it.
Is it just because of the reports that we've been seeing that Triple H is not a big fan of Money in the Bank, so he
I
really
didn't see
hasn't
that.
made this? Oh, you didn't? But a lot of people are speculating that's why Money in the Bank doesn't feel as hot this year, is because those reports were leaked and that he kind of just was meh about the build to this and really just doesn't care. But the build wasn't bad. It was just, like you said, there's so much happening. So many shows within 2 weeks, 4 weeks, that they have to fit so many stories into and then reset. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of wrestling going on, especially in the WWE. It's a lot
Definitely.
being forced down your throat. And it's tough because they were on a good stride recently, obviously.
They were, and it's not like they're in a bad period.
No,
We're not.
no.
We're not shitting like the rest of the people that
Yeah.
the vocal minority on the IWC that you say is saying like, oh, Triple H is ruining the WWE. No, we're still big
John
fans,
Cena is.
and
John Cena
yeah,
is.
John Cena definitely is, and he's going to continue to do so at Money in the Bank. But we're going to start off here with women's Money in the Bank, and we got Stephanie Vaquer, who we just talked about. She's going to be competing, of course, at Worlds Collide. She's pulling double duty here at Money in the Bank. Definitely a top contender here. You have former Miss Money in the Bank, Alexa Bliss, who cashed in Chicago, Illinois. You have Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Julia, and Rhea Bloody Ripley. And Ian, I don't think it's crazy for me to say this. Could be the most stacked women's Money in the Bank match that we've had.
And I don't think it's also crazy to say this is probably just average age. This is probably the youngest women's Money in the Bank ever.
They might all be under 30. Oh, except for Naomi. Naomi's
yeah.
probably above 30.
It's just this is the future of wrestling. Besides like Alexa Bliss and you could throw Naomi in the conversation. The future of WWE. Alexa Bliss is kind of like a little bit more on the tail end of her career, but
The big three. You basically have
Yeah.
3 of the 4 new horsewomen in this
Right.
match, which is Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and Roxanne Perez.
yeah, this is one of those matches like 20 years from now. People that are going to this show are gonna be like, I saw all of those women in one match at Money in the Bank. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of what it's like.
And they all could be in the Hall of Fame, and apparently Alexa's 34, by the way. So they
34.
got a couple in the 30s. But for the most part, all young and all still got a lot to accomplish. To where, like, Ian, if any of these women win, I won't be mad. Except one I would be mad at. Can you guess? Can you guess?
It's Rhea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that same for you?
Yes, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be
doesn't need
mad
it.
at anybody.
And every woman came from NXT, yeah.
Correct. Let me go through all 6 of them right now.
Yeah, let's break it down. This is what we do when we do these
Yeah.
shows. Break it down.
Stephanie Vaquer obviously just came up. Does not need it.
Correct.
Would be skyrocketing herself into the main event scene if she won it. Okay, cool. I would not hate it if she had it. This would build some reputation for her. Doesn't need it. Just kind of skips the whole process of trying to build it with the crowd. Cool.
Correct.
Alexa Bliss, also the same thing. It's kind of she just came back, trying to find her character again. Not gonna hate it if she wins. Like I think it could boost her at this time in her career and make her into something that's actually valuable again to the women's roster.
Yeah, kind of just rejuvenate her stock.
Exactly. Roxanne Perez, I think, is pretty low on the totem pole. Love Roxanne Perez, but
You're not supposed to read.
I know.
Remember? Every time I point,
can't.
I'm just
I try. You can't point at it because then I read it and then I'm like, oh, what?
Roxanne. Go ahead.
Roxanne Perez, another one that's kind of like just new. Also, she's kind of involved with the Judgment Day. I love what they're doing with the Judgment Day right now with the whole Finn takeover. I think the Finn Roxanne Perez, that matchup, I like it. Me likey. Doesn't need it. Naomi, hot. Well,
Pause.
new
Pause.
character.
Big Jim. Big Jim's
Big
gonna
Jim,
tell you.
My bad.
He's gonna tell you to go to hell.
Go to hell. Naomi, new character, is hot at the moment. And I think there's still more room to grow. However, there's no title around this feud that she's got herself into. Like,
True.
it just doesn't make any sense for her to win it. Yes, it would boost her character, but then it's like, okay, all right, see ya Jade and see ya Bianca. There goes that story.
Do you,
Not
by
high
the
on
way,
my totem pole.
tangent? Do you think that's happening at Evolution? The triple
Has to.
threat
Has
I
to.
agree. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think
Right.
Jade wins that match. But anyway, Julia, exact same thing as Stephanie Vaquer. I see them as 1 and 2, A and B here. Julia's another one. You gave her that briefcase. Fucking awesome. Send her to the moon. I just think I know Stephanie's very early, but she connects with the crowd, obviously. The crowd loves Stephanie Vaquer. Julia, I think she's got some room to grow a little bit. I know she's
She
a
hasn't
heel.
connected yet. Yeah, but a heel's gonna help her.
Right. And then Rhea Ripley. They're hinting at it with the Sky,
They are.
and I guess it's there.
But But how does Rhea need Money in the Bank? You're telling me Rhea Ripley can't just walk up to Io and be like, "Give me a title shot"?
Well, she already did that, though. That's the issue, is
True.
they already went through this. Rhea's already tried to claw her way back, and Io beat her down at the Triple Threat of Mania.
They're gonna do the obvious pick, aren't they?
That's the issue. I mean, again, it's all reliable, but also it sets up a Rhea Ripley, like, official heel turn. I already see her as a heel.
Really? Okay.
I think she's already a heel, and the seeds are very deeply grown. My number one pick is going to be Rhea, because I think those are minus 200 odds. She's going to win it. My wild card pick would be Stephanie, because again, she's already there. Might as well take advantage of, okay, the crowd's already accepting of her. Make her into something legit right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get it. You're making sense, Ian. You are. And I agree with Ryan Vogus. He said we need a sound drop now that says break it down before we break it down, because I got to break it down here. Stephanie is, like, if we're saying who would I want to win Money in the Bank, who is my favorite in this match, it's Stephanie. I'm an NXT guy. Of course, I'm going to go with Stephanie here. I think she already has the rocket on her. This just solidifies that she is going to be the next world champion. That's who I want to win. Is she going to win? Probably not. Alexa Bliss, you said it. We're still trying to figure out what her character is and really what's her mission statement since returning to WWE. So I don't think she's ready for it. And hell, she might have a feud with Charlotte. They've been teasing that as well backstage. And then we have Roxanne, who, you said it as well, part of the Judgment Day now, or at least is involved with the Judgment Day. So she doesn't need a briefcase. That really wouldn't make much sense unless she were to have, I guess that wouldn't make sense because Liv Morgan wouldn't have the title. So, yeah, wouldn't make sense. Then after that, Naomi. This is my pick. And I think Naomi deserves to win Money in the Bank. And you kind of said it too, that the character is perfect. And this is just that perfect vehicle for it. The Money in the Bank briefcase. Proceed with caution. She's always going to be lurking with that briefcase. She'll have the caution tape around the briefcase. You could sell that briefcase and make a shit ton of money off of it. And I still think you could have the triple threat with Bianca, with Jade at Evolution, with her still having that briefcase. It's just a little prop at that point, but just to know that always in the back of their minds on SmackDown, Naomi could cash in. That's the best story, in my opinion. That's the number one choice for me. My pick is Naomi, and to go with the other two, Julia, I think she's going to take that U.S. title off Zelina Vega, and then Rhea Ripley, like I said, just doesn't need it. Rhea can get to a title opportunity whenever she wants. So I'm going to proceed with caution here, Ian. I'm going with Naomi to be Miss Money in the Bank.
I like our logic there. Like each of our logic, you could kind of
see
where we're going.
Right?
It makes sense especially from a fan aspect of what you're saying, and I agree with you. I would love to see Naomi win it because I think it would be nice too, because they haven't had a women's Money in the Bank holder hold it for a super long time. Besides Tiffany. Tiffany had it for like half the year or so. I do.
Was she the longest holding that?
I'm not
Tiffany,
sure.
Or was it Carmella?
Oh, it was Carmella.
It might have been Carmella.
Yeah, it was Carmella. Yeah. So
that's when Ellsworth upped her.
Yeah, and I think that's always a really good aspect to have. At least one of them needs to hold it for a long time, men's and women's. And I think Naomi can make that a part of her character, which is nice, and it completely makes sense. I'm betting the minus 200, you're betting the plus 100.
And you know what's crazy? It's like I can't even sit here and point out one person and be like, they are definitely not winning.
Correct.
Actually, yes, I can.
Which is awesome.
Actually, yes, I can. Alexa Bliss, she's not winning. I'm sorry. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Not the time. And like Eric said, I'm not saying she's old, guys. Please don't take this the wrong way. But compared to the rest, Money in the Bank is supposed to create new talent and opportunities. Alexa Bliss has had her opportunities. Let's give it to somebody younger.
She's already done it.
Not even younger. Sorry. Naomi needs this opportunity because she hasn't been to the levels that Alexa Bliss has been to. Naomi has been a former champion, but let's be real. Her run was not great, and that wasn't her fault. They just really didn't get behind her that much. So this could be the run that Naomi needs and deserves. So she's my pick to win women's Money in the Bank. And you have?
Rhea.
God. All right. Who do you want to win?
Ooh. Valkyrie?
Yeah. I mean, how can you say anybody else?
Yeah, I really didn't watch much of NXT, and
She's the best.
how they're breaking her down right now, just introducing her to the main roster. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you didn't do the whole thing. Damn it. We'll break it down when we get to the men's.
We're just testing
tease,
this
a
out.
little tease.
This is obviously the first time we're ever doing. It's funny. We're at episode 248.
Almost at 250.
That's insane, guys. We have been doing this for way too long. Maybe we should just stop. What do you think?
What happens when we hit 1,000 back there on your counter?
I guess we'll never know.
We'll just put it like a little sticky.
I mean,
note with
but
a
seriously, let's do some quick math here. Once again, we're not the smartest, so we're in year 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're 250, so that's a quarter of a way. So, that'd be 24. That'd be 24 years total. So minus 6, that's 18 more years. In 18 more years, I will be 50. So I would have to be 50 years old. What does that put you at in 18 years?
That would be 41.
50, which is close to Jay Gold, by the way, actually. And now that I sit here and laugh, but
That's your co-host, man.
Jay Gold turned 47. Holy shit, we are old. What? Thank you. What did we do?
Break it down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We'll play the whole thing here in a bit, Bogus.
Yeah, Vogus, we're working on it, man. We'll get there. It's a work in progress.
If you want another sound effect, just let me know. I'll get it on there real quick.
Yeah, this guy's working behind the scenes. He's
I got
growing
it.
up before our eyes. But guys, don't forget that Tucky is coming to OTM soon. The people that are listening back are going to be so confused.
I don't think we should say to OTM soon. It should just be, oh, Tucky is coming, and then just silence.
Oh.
Show the graphic. Done.
But seriously, we do get a lot of audio listeners now, which, by the way, audio
Shout out to you.
listeners, I don't know who you are. I feel like you guys don't speak to us. So if you're an audio listener, please tweet back at us, at Pot on the Mark. Just give us a waving emoji. And now that I say that, I think Pat Novacell might be an audio listener. I think that might be the only one.
I'm a fellow audio listener as well. I got a lot of shit for it, but we'll work that in.
You can't make me pop in the middle of it. Okay, that was pause. Never mind. I was going to say pop in the middle of the show. I just got to finish it. Sorry. Lyra Valkyria will be looking to defend her Intercontinental Championship as she faces off against the Man. And last time we talked about this matchup, Ian, I thought Becky Lynch was going to win. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to double down on it and say that Becky Lynch is going to win again. And I think it makes sense because Becky obviously could just cheat to win here. And I think there's a stipulation attached to this that Lyra has to raise Becky's hand after the match and say she's the better wrestler. So it would make sense if Becky cheated to win and Lyra has to do it reluctantly. And then she has to fight her way back. But, man, we've talked about this feud a lot, Ian. This might be my favorite feud right now in the WWE. And I got to give you credit because you were on Bird Lady before I was, and I'm an NXT guy. She's really become a big star, I think, in this feud, and that's exactly why we said this was the perfect person for Lyra.
Yeah, and the promo, shout out Bird Lady, fucking love her. Lyra Valkyria is a dog. And dog. Every single week she was defending that title until Becky Lynch came into the picture, and we're seeing a new side of Lyra Valkyria it's resonating more with the general audience. It's not just a select few. They're just like, okay, she's good in the ring. I mean, they've spelled it out in the promo this Monday. It was literally Lyra saying, you woke me up. I'm bad now. This is what I needed. And again, that's just literally laying it all out there saying that's the whole point of this feud is making Lyra into an actual fucking fierce competitor.
Yeah.
Instead of let's just go have a good match. As much as that could get you and show how good you are in the ring, it's not going to drive you into too many feuds. This new Becky character as well, again, we kind of referenced... Yeah, we referenced the whole Charlotte and Tiffany feud and how they kind of had those promos that was just off the spell and it was a mess. This is a beautiful mess of a promo battle that they're letting each other get their licks in. They're going deep into the bags of like what they could throw out, but it's not like, okay, that's just, why would you even say that?
And we never even got to see that version of Lyra Valkyria in NXT. So the fact that we're getting to see it, we're getting to see it here on the main roster. That's why it's like she never really connected with me. It's like, I know she can go. She's one of the best workers, if not the best worker right now in that women's division. But, Great Brown Hope, I don't know, man. He says Valkyria about to go 3-0 against Becky Lynch. And I'm going with the man to win this title. I wouldn't be surprised if Bayley is next up for Becky Lynch, and then eventually you can get Lyra to take that title off of Becky even later. But yeah, man, something is just pulling me towards Becky Lynch here. What about you?
This is the way I see it. I'm just going to throw my fantasy booking brain out there, and I think Becky is going to win this match, obviously win the title. Lyra's already got that one clean win over Becky. Cool, awesome. That was an awesome first fucking match. That was match of the night in my eyes. Have Becky go over here, win that title, beat the absolute loving shit out of Lyra. Let her go off TV for a little bit. Let her repackage herself just a little bit. Doesn't need a lot at all. I mean, she's held that title for almost the entire year. It was very early on in the year.
Yeah, you're right. It probably was like March or maybe late February.
Let her have a little bit of a break and then come back while Becky still has that title. Like you said, Bayley's probably there waiting for Becky with the title as well to challenge her. And this is going to be a best-of-3 kind of situation because they've been doing that. Triple H loves to do his best-of-3 situations when... Lyra Valkyria won the title in January, mid-January.
Yeah, that is the whole year. You're right.
This entire year, she has had that title and has made it into something good again.
Not again. Yeah, she established it.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's a good first champion. So, let Lyra take a little break, come back as even more badass. Bigger bird.
Like Big Bird. It should come out yellow. Woo! Dun, dun, dun. Woo! The Big Bird costume.
That was loud. That was good.
I got a lot of energy tonight, even though we don't have a lot of people in the chat. I blame X, by the way, for that. But we do have the what it really gave us is the real ones. Because there's usually a lot of bots, but we got the real ones in the chat tonight. So I'll acknowledge that. There you go, Ian. Good job.
Thanks.
Ian, why don't you introduce this next match?
Yeah, a match that has been getting a little bit of criticism. I do not hate it at all because I think the writing is on the wall on what they're trying to do here. It's John Cena teaming up with Logan Paul. What the hell? Versus Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. Does make sense.
Yeah.
This has kind of been weird because there hasn't been a lot of build for this match in between.
Just one. They had the one segment.
That's my only thing that I'm like, okay. That's annoying. Like, we haven't had Cody at all.
Well, we do have SmackDown tomorrow. Don't forget.
I don't have a lot
We're
of
probably going to
hopes.
get a follow-up or a go-home to it. But, no, I agree with you. Like, what else can they say that they didn't already say?
Right. And I get it. I like this whole thing of John Cena helping Logan Paul and trying to literally pick him up like a backpack and carry him to the top because he wants to ruin wrestling. It makes a lot of sense. He's really good in the ring. And people hate that he's good. And it's as simple as that. Logan Paul has been nothing but incredible for the WWE. As much as you hate him, and that's coming from me. I fucking hate Logan Paul. I would love to punch him in the face in real life. I don't care. Fuck you, Logan Paul. You're a piece of shit. But you're really good in the ring. Sorry.
I hope he gives you a receipt.
Okay, do it.
I'd pay to see
I'll
that.
film it, and then I'll make
You know what? The Great Brown Hope is really scaring me, though. Because he makes a point. This just softens up Jey Uso before the briefcase winner cashes in at the end of the match. Because remember, John Cena wants to ruin professional wrestling. What if they beat Jey Uso, to a pulp, and then the obvious winner on the men's side of things, Seth Rollins, cashes in? Don't do that. Yeah, I don't know. No, they're not really siding with Cena. They're just... Cena's the vehicle that gets Seth Rollins to cash in on Jey Uso. You see what I'm saying?
I have an idea.
What?
Let's just have Logan Paul in the Money in the Bank match. They've done it before. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but this is probably going to be the main event. They have 2 world champions in this match.
Logan Paul, you could have John Cena beat the shit out of, I don't know, fucking Grande Americano. Take him out of the match. Don't need it. You already had your match this weekend. Well, supposedly. Had your match this weekend. Allegedly. And let Logan Paul have the briefcase in the main event.
We are still getting this too, by the way, though. Remember this. Gunther faces the champion on Monday. That is true. So maybe that debunks everything then. I think you just debunked yourself there, Great Brown Hope, because you look at it, he said it softens him up for a cash-in, but I don't think Gunther's going to face off against, whoever cash in, I think they're setting up another Gunther J match. Unless they do Gunther Seth.
They've been doing pretty predictable with their champions as of recently. I mean, we need a
You mean
curveball at some point.
unpredictable? Or no, you're saying they are
No,
predictable.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been predictable with their champions. Feuds have been good, just in general, outside of title scenes. But the title winners and the champions have been pretty predictable.
Yeah,
we
except
need
for
to
in
spice it up at some
NXT.
point.
But you're right, the
Well,
main
yeah.
roster.
Yeah,
Jey Uso gets cashed in on after his Money in the Bank match or after Gunther versus Uso. Okay.
that would be the way to do it.
I see what you're saying. But who do you actually got winning this tag match?
It's
I'm babyface, right, to set up a match between Cody and John. That's where I'm at, to be honest with you.
I don't know, which I'm happy I don't know.
They wouldn't be doing this match if Cody and John aren't going to have another one.
Yeah.
Cody can pin Logan,
It just
and
doesn't
they're
make
fine.
any
Logan's
sense
the
that we.
scapegoat.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense that John Cena hasn't really, or not John Cena, Cody has not had any words at all. Like, there's no explanation on why he came back. I thought it was an early coming back to the situation with John Cena. I thought it was too early, and it's the same character. It seems like so. I think there needs to be a change because again, the crowd was turning on Cody when he had the title when he lost it to John Cena.
Not really. That's just the
getting there. It
Vegas
was
crowd.
right-
That was just one crowd. It was the
don't know,
casual Vegas crowd. Nobody was turning on Cody. You hear the reaction when he returned?
Yeah,
At a Saturday night's main event, the people
Yeah.
still want to cheer for Cody Rhodes. It is way too soon to turn Cody Rhodes. That is not happening anytime soon.
I don't know,
That's
man.
just That's just me, Oos.
Which I think is good. I think us not agreeing on it, I think is good. That is very nice of this whole situation.
Stupid idiot.
Okay, well, that's not fair to have the soundboard when I just said we're allowed to have different opinions.
Oh, wait.
Cena to win.
We don't. Okay. Oh, wait. You're going with Cena and Logan Paul?
Yeah, they're trying to ruin wrestling.
And how are they going to ruin it? Just by winning? Or
By winning.
Is there a way
Yeah.
they're going to do it?
They're not going to get pinned. Cody Rhodes is going to get pinned.
Don't do that. No. It can't be Cody.
What?
It would have to be Jay.
What?
It would have to be Jay.
What?
Okay, you're done. Great Brown Hope. All right, he pulled that one up. He said Uso and Rhodes win. Paul eats the pin. Yep, I'm in agreement with you, Great Brown Hope. I'm going with Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso. But the youngster is going with John Cena and Logan Paul, which then takes us to what would be my main event. Actually, it's probably the match I'm least looking forward to on the card. I shouldn't say it's the main event, but I'm saving it for last here. So let's break it down once again. We got the megastar L.A. Knight, taking on Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Seth freaking Rollins, and El Grande Americano. Ian, I think I'm going to give it to you first on this one. Once again, I'm going to let you break it down.
Thank you. Don't copyright us, please. Yeah, okay. I'll break it down. No, you break this one down. I did the win.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah. You break it down.
I got to be honest with you. LA Knight's got to be one of the favorites, if not the favorite in this match. We've talked about LA Knight winning Money in the Bank, I feel like, for the past 3 years. Like, he's been in this match. And we're like, now's the time. Now's the time. Well, here we are. Look at the field. No disrespect to the rest of the field, other than Seth Rollins. There's not a bigger name than LA Knight in that field. Under the WWE microscope. Yes, you could argue that Penta has more accolades, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. But on the WWE scale, LA Knight's number 2 in this match. So he's got to be one of the favorites. It would make sense for him to win. Penta, man, he's fine losing any match. I feel like Penta's already reached, like, untouchable status. So he's got so much aura to where you could plug him and play him in any spot, and we're like, okay, he's cool. It's Penta. He'll be fine. After that, we got Andrade. No disrespect. He's not winning. There's no chance. Also, this Patriots 12 guy must be a troll because he's just bringing up people that we're not going to bring up on this show. So this is what we're going to do here, and we're just going to ban them and bring them. Yeah, he's saying bring back Vince.
God.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those in a while.
Bye, buddy.
We haven't had like a scammer in a while, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not scammer.
No life.
Yeah.
Loser.
People that just hating on a podcast for being live. But nonetheless, I was on Andrade, correct?
Yeah.
No chance! Speaking of Vince.
You're banned.
You're banned from our chat. Have fun, buddy. Patriots 12. By the way, the Patriots fucking suck. Solo Sikoa, he could win. Solo Sikoa could definitely win Money in the Bank. And Solo Sikoa has actually shown some comedy lately, which I like. Solo's showing personality. Don't count out Solo in this match. Seth Rollins is the obvious decision. I mean, it's the boring one, though, in my opinion. It's the lazy one. But if Triple H truly does hate Money in the Bank, maybe he'll just go with the layup. You know, go with the alley-oop, slam it down, and Seth Rollins wins. Or you just get fucking crazy. You go wild, and a Grande Americano wins, and you have that be used for a AAA title. So you have Chad Gable lose to Vikingo, and then he wins Money in the Bank as Grande Americano and cashes in on the AAA title to become AAA champion with the Money in the Bank. I would hate that. I personally would hate it because Money in the Bank should be used to cash in on a WWE title, not any other title. I know they bought AAA, but it's not a WWE sanctioned title. It's got lineage to AAA. It's not going to be Grande Americano. I know people are trying to speak it into existence, and now here I am saying it. It's probably going to happen. It's going to be the megastar. L.A. Knight. Yeah, I'm going with the obvious picks, or at least it's obvious to me. I think you've got to strike now. He's the strongest momentum behind him out of this group. And I just think he's the one that needs it the most, Ian. So I'm going with LA Knight.
Oh.
And I know Great Brown Hope's going to hate that. Not from LA Knight, as he calls him.
Yeah, I don't personally understand the whole El Grande Americano, like, winning the briefcase. I mean, I get it.
I get it.
It's the fan favorite right now. It would be very entertaining.
It is the perfect for that environment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Great Brown Hope says AAA is a perfect environment for a Money in the Bank briefcase story. Would definitely bridge the gap. They could even make this a yearly thing and add AAA talent to the match next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. But they're not doing that with TNA.
No.
That's the thing. It's like there's a lot of thought right now. Obviously, Worlds Collide is its own pay-per-view right now. TNA, WWE has not had that crossover pay-per-view, which is shocking still. They've been having it with NXT.
Even though they have been having, featured talent on each other's PLEs.
But again, you love NXT, but NXT to main roster, completely different ballparks. Like, that's no hate on NXT.
And I haven't watched anything in TNA either.
Yeah.
I just watched the WWE.
Exactly. Like, you give shine to TNA product, but I don't know. Anyway, I won't go down that tangent, but LA Knight definitely is probably my number one pick at the moment.
It should be, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let me ask you this: are you getting tired of LA Knight?
No, never will.
I'm not either.
It would take a lot for me to get tired of him.
A long reign I'd get sick of, but like if you gave him a short reign, like I feel like if LA Knight wins this match, you gotta let him have the world title, right? He's got to successfully
The
cash
issue
in.
is whose world title? That's where I'm at. Both of the world titles right now in the WWE main roster is like they're locked into a storyline. Gunther and Jay. That could be ending soon. It'll probably be Jay's title to go. John Cena's title's not going. It ain't going nowhere.
He cashes in on Rollins. Maybe Rollins takes it from Uso, and then LA Knight takes it from Rollins. LA Knight's had beef with Paul Heyman in the past with the Bloodline.
Yeah, but I don't remember that. Not a lot of people remember that.
Oh, I do. I remember the pop when LA Knight cut off Roman Reigns' entrance. That was one of the louder pops. It is a callback, and I know it's a reach, and I know I'm grasping at straws.
No, yeah,
but
you're making it work. You're trying to make it work.
But who else would he cash in on? Because it's not going to be Jay. You're not going to have LA Knight cashing on Jay. He's not cashing in on John. I'm assuming Cody's going to take the title from John. He's not going to cash in on Cody. So it only makes sense if Rollins, who takes it from Uso, gets cashed in on by LA Knight.
It has to be Jay's title, or it has to be a mid-card
title.
Yeah,
it has to be that title. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It has to. So
or
when you look at the whole thing, yeah, and that's the tough part.
And maybe it is the AAA then. Maybe it is Grande Americano. Yeah, now I feel like we talked ourselves into it.
I'm not there yet. I'm still not. Like it's very entertaining, but the amount of hate they would get for a Grande Americano, it's a non-serious character. As good as we know Chad Gable or Grande Americano is, we love him, but it's like it's not a serious like.
Oh, I take it serious. He's the greatest luchador of all time. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Okay.
Serious.
I didn't think so.
It just goes back to Seth.
Yeah.
Andrade, I'm sorry. Andrade
Why are you
should not
picking
be in
the
this
two
match.
boring, obvious ones? No, you're
how you make
ruining.
money, brother.
You're ruining wrestling.
Well,
Ian's ruining wrestling, guys.
it makes the most sense. Like LA Knight,
You're right.
unless it's a mid-card title, he's not cashing in on John Cena, not cashing in on Jey Uso. You're going to get booed out of the building, LA Knight. If Gunther wins the title Monday, I mean, again, we're thinking very short-term. We're very short-term
Yeah,
based right
because
now.
it could be even next year where it's Sami Zayn who wins the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and then we're talking about cashing in on Sami Zayn.
Right, so it's
Which
very
is going to
hard
happen,
to
by
predict
the way.
that.
I'm calling that shot out right now. Sami Zayn's winning the Rumble
Has to.
next year. That's the story.
Sammy's... Oh.
Because Seth's going to get that title from Jay, I'm telling you. And then that's your next in line. That's the order. It's Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens returning from injury to take it from Sami Zayn. I just booked your future.
Shit.
I just
really
booked
good.
your future.
Really
You're welcome, WWE. You're welcome. I'll take your job over my current job, but I hope my current job's not watching right now. What's your pick for this match? Seth? Is it Seth?
It's got to be Seth, yeah. Also, Great Brown Hope says WWE doesn't own TNA, though. That is correct. That's a fair point. It's just a large bridge to gap. And there would be so much
It's a lot of
hatred.
explaining to do.
It's a lot of... It would be so much hate from the general American audience that doesn't watch AAA if their Money in the Bank briefcase, which is arguably one of the biggest pay-per-views, maybe not in Triple H's eyes, but in most casual fans' eyes, this is one of the pay-per-views you want to watch because it has so much stipulation to it.
Yeah.
If that briefcase was just in AAA and you win a AAA title, what does that mean for WWE? I get it. Yes, WWE owns AAA. Okay. What does that mean for a fan? All it means is WWE makes the money that AAA makes. That's it.
Yeah. And listen here, WWE, prove me wrong because, like I said, my excitement levels just aren't there for Money in the Bank this year. I want to be surprised. I don't want you to go with the obvious decisions here, even though sometimes the obvious decisions are the ones that print money. There are a lot of people talking online, and there are ratings showing that the Netflix era hasn't gone the way that they expected it to go, ratings-wise. I think WWE's got to really pick things up here in the summertime. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the product, Ian. I'm not even saying I dislike the product right now. I still enjoy WWE. I'm just saying from a grand scheme of things, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, I feel like these are pivotal shows coming up this weekend. And maybe I'm just overanalyzing things and being a mark, but that's how I feel.
No, I mean, again, we're tired of just wrestling at the moment. And not that we don't love it still.
Fatigued.
We're very fatigued. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania season has came to an end, which is, again, I guess in the grand scheme of things, not a bad thing. It's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So
you need off seasons. Every sport has an off season. I know you can't realistically do it, but we need to kind of calm down with all the big shows. And you talked about that earlier.
Yeah. I'm not super stoked to see either of the Money in the Bank matches. The women's, I'm more excited for.
I'm really excited for the women's, yeah.
I'm excited for Lyra versus Becky. That's the one match this weekend I am excited for. Also,
I think you would agree with me then that it's the best feud right now in the WWE. Becky
I would agree. Yeah, no,
Lyra.
I would agree. Yeah. I've liked all of their promos and all of their segments. Also, who is your pick for the men's again?
LA Knight. Yeah. Thank you. With everybody saying LA Knight. Thank you for that. And we are here at the end of the show, episode 248, and it was a bumpy start because once again X decided to shit the fucking bed, but at least Elon dropped a bomb today on Donald Trump on X. If you didn't see that post, go check it out because that was an interesting one. But we don't talk politics over here. We're talking MVMs, and this one was very easy. But first, we want to shout out the fact that Tino and the Great Brown Hope were sharing the fact that we weren't live on X to start the show and shared our links on their personal pages. So to you two, thank you for doing that because it's very hard to do that while we are recording. And going off of that, we have a new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We are down with the Brown. It's the Great Brown Hope.
We got to work on the catchphrase, man. I don't
No,
know. I'm not in on it.
Why?
I'm not
Great
in on
Brown Hope
it.
loves it. Elon
Down-
did turn face on us today. How about that?
I
You
didn't
saw
see
that tweet,
any-
right?
No.
Oh.
When I tell you I'm not going on X much, I don't go on X a lot at all.
By the way, the Great Brown Hope is a 10-time
depressing.
MVM, by the way. That's almost Hall of Fame worthy.
it's
Almost.
up there. Hey, I mean, we have the MVM of the
MVM
year.
of the year. Uh-oh. I'll tell you who it's not going to be. Yeah.
We'll see ya.
I was going to say the 2024 MVM is... We're halfway through the year. We're halfway through the year, and Kine's not even sniffing the trophy right now.
No, not even in the same room, not even in the same building, country.
Okay, maybe we can't put him in the MVM of the year conversation because this is the first time the Great Brown Hope actually won it this year. Bill Moss is up there. There's a lot of other big names, but that's surprising that the
You
Great
could
Brown...
have Rookie of the Year win MVP.
Who's Rookie of the Year? Yeah, Bill Moss ain't a rookie. He's been around for a while.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, Great Brown Hope is the first MVM of 2025.
Oh,
he
no,
was a
that
rookie
wouldn't
year.
work. You can't be a rookie when you already have title reigns.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, he had 9 title reigns before that. He ain't no rookie. Yeah, the competition has been stiff this year. So if you want to hang around and see if you could become the MVM, you have to be live with us in the comment section on YouTube. And by the way, we are on the road to 500 subscribers. Be a friend and tell a friend that we are almost there. And Ian's got his hand up for something.
I made a deal. I'm gonna own up to my deal because I said on last week's episode, I'm eating my loss like a man. I made a deal with you. Do you remember what that deal was?
No.
Mariah May.
Oh!
If Mariah May went to WWE, I would change my 600 subscriber 24-hour live stream to 500 subscribers. So if we reach 500 subs, I will do my 24-hour live stream. I will not give you a restriction on when I need to do it in that time frame. It'll happen. That just means it's going to happen. So there you are. You won. Congratulations. Was not expecting it that quickly.
Dude, I told you the writing was on the wall.
Sad.
Sometimes you have to believe the smoke because, like the street prophets say, when you see there's smoke, you know there's fire in the building. And look who showed up in the NXT building to a great reaction. She looked like a star. And a lot of people are saying it's a downgrade because she went to NXT. And what do you think about that?
No, okay. In the grand scheme of things, I saw the money the money in
Rumored.
speculation, the rumor, yes, that AEW is offering, and she declined it, and she's making less in WWE. Okay, in that case, Mariah May just wants to go to WWE.
Yeah.
People, just deal with it. That's
her dream.
It's good for her. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We should be there for her because that's fucking sick. I mean,
It's cool when people accomplish their dreams, isn't it?
yeah, I
Instead
just
of shitting on them.
correct. I just was so happy with her in AEW because I thought she was doing incredible things. But
She was.
it makes sense because like it was kind of she had one of the best feuds in the women's roster in AEW.
The best. It was the best.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Go out on top. Get as much money as you can.
Yeah, and I would put number 2 probably Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa as my second favorite women's feud maybe in AEW. But yeah, we're not here to talk about AEW, but we're here to talk about the fact that Tucky is coming. When? I don't know. But Tucky is coming. Also, guys, if you want to support us...
That was a perfect one.
If you guys want to support the show, head on over to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. This is the last couple weeks that this will be active, and then we'll be heading on over to Brainbuster Tees. So for the time being, if you want to support the show, that is the way to do so. And Ian, why don't you tell them where to follow us and the Main Event Network?
Well, if you would like to follow us personally, get all of your announcements, and I don't know if we sent out an announcement saying X was not working, but
We did.
if you would... Oh, we did. Okay, so if you want announcements on when... Well, yeah, you did. Collective now. But if you want your announcements, if you want to find out when we're going live, because that does change weekly at times, follow us at Pod on the Mark on X and or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But if you want to follow the boys with that logo up there, see all the way... Oh, well, I'm gone now. We also have the Main Event Mixer, episode number 25 for Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. I do not know who is on that mixer.
I can tell you who's on that mixer, Ian. We got my better half, Jay Gold, hosting the Mixer. He will be joined by Lucha Libre expert, the Great Brown Hope, and one half of the Wrestling Junkies podcast, the Podcast Dad, and also DC Hendricks, writer/podcaster from Body Slam Net, will be joining the network Mixer. The very first time somebody from outside of the network is joining a Mixer.
Be nice to him.
It's obviously a big deal, guys, so let's give them that main event hospitality. And, of course, you want to check that out at @mainevent_net is where you're going to find it. But, guys, I think that's about all we got for you. So thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.